Here we are again. This is a Wednesday here, and we're going to be doing a live question and answer session. We started an immune boosting series last Wednesday, and this is actually a continuation of that. We had some questions from last week, so I'm going to actually go ahead and start answering those questions first. And also, if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment right here as we are doing it live. And I'd be happy to answer those questions. Hope all of you are well and staying happy and healthy and doing things that we talk about every time here, with the immune boosting series, as well as we have been doing since the COVID. I hope that you're actually following those kinds of things. Here I am starting with my green smoothie. As always, something that I often recommend. Pretty much all of my patients know this. And if you've been watching me for quite a bit of time on Facebook Live, you know that, I'm a fan of green smoothies. Even the taste of it eventually, you start actually enjoying the taste of it as well. So here I am drinking that. This is the time that I usually drink my smoothie. So if you are with me, cheers. So let me go to the questions first. So we are going to touch back on the intermittent fasting that we talked about last time. Somebody asked me a question of whether they can do 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. That's perfectly fine. Anything between 14 hours and 24 hours is considered intermittent fasting. Whatever you're comfortable with, you can start out with 14, 16, 18, or go up to 24. So 16 is perfectly okay. Let's talk about the next question here. Is coffee okay? Some people do drink black coffee during intermittent fasting. I personally do not. I actually don't do anything that is addictive, because anything that actually makes you want to do it consistently is, to me, it's much more compulsive, and I want to do things more consciously rather than compulsively. So I don't personally care for coffee during that time, but yes, black coffee is completely okay to do during that time. Ideally though, water would be ideal during intermittent fasting. Why? You don't really want to put anything that's caloric and that needs to be going through your system, going into your gut, being absorbed, sent through the liver, and then assimilated into the blood. So any of this process, if we keep it to a minimum, it would be better for our immune system as well as for our digestive system. Somebody asked this question about whether intermittent fasting is okay for gallbladder patients. I'm guessing what that means by gallbladder patients is that you have maybe gallstones, or I don't know if you have a gallbladder removed. I'm not sure what the exact question is. Typically, we recommend it for most of our patients unless they have clear contraindication for it. So if you do have somebody who has told you, or a physician who has told you not to do this, then you should definitely consult your doctor before doing it, because you don't really want to have any problems doing something that's good for your health. So always we have to be aware of that, right? There are a lot of information in this day and age that we can get online, but we also have to be cognitive of what our body needs and how we do with certain things and do it. Sometimes you could also be doing it wrong, and because of that, you could be having ill effects as well. So it's always better for you to consult someone who actually knows what they're talking about, and get specific information for you before you do anything that you're not sure about. But a lot of my patients do that and they don't have problems. Even with diabetes and hypertension, I have patients who do intermittent fasting, and it's pretty good for them as well. Somebody asked the question, can I do buttermilk while doing intermittent fasting? Buttermilk, not recommended. Too high a source of fat, as well as things that needs to be digested and absorbed. We want to actually eat things that are very, very, very easy to break down while you're doing intermittent fasting. If at all you need to definitely eat something during that time, then it wouldn't be considered as intermittent fasting, but it would still be better than actually eating solid foods as we normally do. So fruits, fruit juices, fresh fruit juices are highly recommended than buttermilk. Um, Bone broth during intermittent fasting. Somebody asked that question whether they can actually drink that. Yes, you can. Definitely, it's not a contraindication. Then again, as I said before, ideally water, not fruits, fruit juices, bone broth, coffee. All of these things are good. We also had another questions. First of all, I want to thank everyone who actually wrote the questions us, because it's definitely an honor and pleasure to be able to answer your questions and to be able to help in any way that I can here at this given point in time. The next question was zinc recommendation. So we recommend this particular one. It's called the New Human Active Zinc. This one I like because it's biodynamic fusion. It's energetically done, and it's microionized. So it's actually really really good and available. So we usually recommend 2 teaspoons for adults and 1 teaspoon for children. I don't know if you're having well on your side. I'm actually start getting a lot of flickering here. So anybody watching, if you could comment and say if you're having issues hearing me or seeing me, that would be very helpful. I would appreciate that. Um, okay, hopefully things are okay here. So then again, this is the one that we recommend for the zinc. Um, So there was another question about masks. So do we need to wear masks? I see people wearing them even in their car when they're going by themselves. And oh, thank you, Tierney. Okay, so it is cutting in and out a bit. So masks are. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, thank you, Kiran. Appreciate that. So I don't know what's going on. I'm guessing because we have full internet, so I'm guessing it is Facebook doing this. But as long as you can hear us, hopefully at least the video will be good. And if something was missed out, you can always go watch the video back again. Um, so regarding the masks, we wear masks in public places because even if you are not sick, it is actually better for everyone involved. It is definitely still better to maintain safe distance. But if somebody is sick and they don't know that they are sick, if they have been exposed to COVID and don't know that they are sick, but they actually are in your close vicinity and they sneeze or cough, then the droplets in the air, when we actually take it in through our mouth or our nostrils, it's possible that we can get sick. And that's the reason why masks are recommended. I mean, if you're all by yourself and there's no one else, it's not really necessary to wear masks. But if you are going out in public spaces or if you're actually meeting people, then yes, that would be better to do. If you don't have masks, there are lots of DIY masks that are actually DIY masks, the process and everything that's available online these days. And we would also post something on our Facebook page if you would like. And there are also a lot of people who are making masks and selling them or donating them. So contact your local, you know, maybe even your you can check to see if there are masks made. So it will definitely be better if you are going to be in the public areas to be wearing masks. So if if there are any more questions, keep it coming. I'm going to go on to talk about immune boosting again today, a little bit more on what are the things that we can do more. So Kiran, so good to see you too. I mean, so good to have you too. And I will share the recipe for the green smoothie. So this actually has 75% greens, and I use the power greens from Costco. As I said in the last time, you can also freeze the greens if you want, so that you can actually prevent any kind of viral load from it, and so on and so forth. And you can use the frozen greens. You can also use, if you are too worried about getting greens, or if you're not able to get greens, if you don't have access to greens, then these are some of the other things that you can actually add. This is the one, it's called as green superfood by Amazing Grass, or organic wheatgrass. Oops, sorry, organic wheatgrass, or you can actually do spirulina. I mean, I highly recommend greens on a day-to-day basis, every day at least a few servings of greens. When I say a serving is one handful of each person. That's their serving, one serving. So at least, 3 to 4 servings of greens a day would be ideal. So at least go out for 1 to 2 servings, if not 3 to 4 servings. But you can definitely do those green powders. In place of greens, if you're not able to get greens, fresh greens or frozen greens, that would be another idea that you can add in your smoothies. And so in my smoothies, I always add greens. These are mostly fresh greens or frozen greens. I very rarely do green powders, because if I can do fresh, I do fresh. But if I cannot, then we will do green powders, but very, very rarely. So I also do seeds in the smoothies. Again, that's another thing that you can do. Seeds like chia seed, flax seeds, they are really high in omega 3s. And omega 3s are very good for combating inflammation and strengthening the immune system. It's also very good for brain. It's very good for many different things. Any inflammatory ways can be cut down by antioxidant foods like omega 3s. So it will be very, very helpful to do smoothies with greens as well as seeds. And I add frozen fruits. Mine usually has pineapple, mangoes, sometimes berries, all kinds of berries. Uh, always, to kind of give that sweetness. Otherwise, it's going to be very bitter and unpalatable. And of course, we don't want to be torturing people with the green smoothies, right? So we want to be able to drink it as well. So it is important for it to be sweet, but not overly sweet. Slightly sweet is sufficient. So I don't add any sweeteners to my smoothie. Just the fruits and the seeds and the greens, and that's what my smoothie consists of. And we don't add any milk to it, just plain water, no juices, none of those things, just plain water. And that's how I make my smoothie, and I get every single day. So as I said, add seeds, greens, and these are two things that you can do as an immuno booster. Right now, some of the things that I've been actually seeing is that on social media, even though I don't really do much social media other than our Facebook Live, I have been seeing some people who have been actually. I mean, it's good. I'm glad that they're celebrating, but I want the celebration to be more internal rather than external. So what I mean by that is I see a lot of people that are celebrating with shakes that are made out of ice cream, and eating a whole bunch of pastries and cakes, all kinds of things, because they can go out and eat. They are actually making them at home and eating. Just a word of caution here that it's okay if we do these things openly, but when we do this, especially now when we are doing the shutdown, for the reason that we want to be healthy and we want to keep our immune system strong, so we need to be very cognitive of that as to why we are doing this and what we need to do when we get out, because we are going to get out eventually. And at that point in time, our immune system shouldn't be that poor because of the foods that we put in, because the foods that we put in becomes us. And what does it become? What kind of us does it become eventually when we go out? It has to be really seen. And so if we want to make sure that when we go out as well, we are going to be staying healthy and strong, and not get sick from other things, we need to be making sure that we are eating good foods during this lockdown. um, Other things that you can do is vitamin D. Vitamin D is something that I often recommend, because vitamin D has been shown as an immune booster, or every single study it has been shown that way. So vitamin D is really, really good. I mean, now that the weather is beautiful outside, please go out, maintain social distancing, maintain safe distance, but go out for walks, do bike riding, walking, maybe jump rope, even if you need to in your backyard, or jumping jacks, gardening. Any of these things is going to be very helpful. Why? Because exercise, we know, boosts your immune system, and also it actually helps your lymphatic system, which is an inherent part of your immune system, work so much better, detox so much better, so your immune system naturally, gets better. So that's another thing. And go out, get enough sun, get enough vitamin D. And if you've been someone who has been in the lockdown and not really gone out much at all, we do recommend vitamin D for sure, taken internally as a supplement. And this is the one that we recommend, Solray. It's actually again bioavailable and high potency ones. So per spray, it's 1000 IU. For adults, we recommend 5000 IU, and for children, we recommend 1000 to 2000 IU, depending on their age. So that would be another recommendation of mine for immune boosting. And one other thing that I wanted to actually talk about today was chronic diseases. A lot of people actually have many chronic diseases, and right now with the COVID situation, they are not really taking care of those as well. And it's important to make sure that you are taking care of yourself during this time. Even if you cannot actually go, and see your doctor. I mean, for example, we actually do all of our consultations. We FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom for all our chronic disease patients. So that is totally doable. We are doing it virtually for all of our patients. So if you've been someone who has been thinking about taking care of things, but you've been putting it off, and now with the situation you have been worried about going to a doctor, you can call our office, and we'd be able to help you keep healthy and stay healthy eventually as well after we come out of this. And also, right now, allergies are kicking in. It's another thing that we treat, obviously. And so if you have allergies, and you're just one who's taking Zyrtec, which is an antihistamine, which actually kind of suppresses the immune system, or if you are someone who gets sick from allergies and has to have steroids and so on and so forth, which can be again an immunosuppressant, please do not go that route. Call our office, and we'd be able to treat you for allergies very effectively. And you will feel better, and it can be done virtually. You will feel better, but you don't have to take any immunosuppressant drugs. um, so questions here: what about building up antibodies and being exposed? Can we expect it in the fall and winter? I don't understand the question, Taylor. Exactly what antibodies are you talking about? Are you talking for the COVID, or are you talking something else? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So if you could please elaborate on that, I'd be happy to answer that question. How about celery juice? Absolutely, juice is very, very good. The gut as well as for the liver. So celery juice is really helpful as well. But I do recommend on top of that, on top of the celery, I do recommend, they are very mineral dense as well. But on top of it, I also recommend the leafy greens. We have been practicing grounding lately. Awesome. Yes, definitely go out and kiss Mother Earth. Is wheatgrass powder gluten free? Very good question, Pooja. Yes, it is. All it has is organic whole leaf wheatgrass powder, and it has nothing else. It's gluten free. It has no sugar added. It's plant based. It gives natural energy, promotes detoxification. It helps in a digestion, helps alkalize the body, and supports the immune system. And this one as well, the amazing super green, the green superfood, is also gluten free, and it's also organic and non-GMO, and it has no sugar added. So it's actually a very good product. So for COVID, what about building up antibodies and being exposed? I mean, you are actually exposed to COVID, it would not be possible for you to build antibodies to it. What you could actually do. So antibodies are actually produced as a result of an exposure to an antigen. An antigen is a foreign body. Typically, in this case, it's a virus. So unless you're exposed to it, you cannot build up the antibody. So you have to be exposed to it to make it. But when we talk about immune boosting, typically a strong immune system is capable of producing the antibodies against an antigen quickly, and is also able to protect your body against getting really, really sick. And that's the reason why, in most of our patients, when we treat them, they usually, don't have as much allergies, or they don't get sick as often over that's what happens because their immune system becomes stronger. So those were, oh, one other thing that I wanted to talk about. We are giving percent discount on most of our supplements to help our patients during COVID. So if you're a patient, we'd be giving that to you. If you do not, I'm not on everything. On some things that we are able to, I mean, most things we are able to give, but not on everything. Even if you're not a patient, you can call our office for supplements if you're not able to get them. Like, for example, holy basil, vitamin C, vitamin D. Some of these are actually not available in the stores. And whatever we have in reserve, we are able to actually offer it to even people that are not our patients right now until we run out. Once we run out, of course, we cannot, but we'll be happy to actually help you even if you're not a patient. And that is true also for green powders and so on and so forth. Also, the zinc. So, all of these things we will have available. And if you are a patient or a non patient, we'd be happy to offer that to you as well. Any other questions here? Okay, I don't see any more questions here. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next Wednesday again on the immune boosting series. We'll talk about other things that you can do to boost your immune system, especially as we'll be soon open up back again. The state might open up back again, and we have to be ready. Our body should be ready in order to take this on, and we can do that. We can do this together. So eat well, stay healthy, and exercise. Make sure you're meditating, doing all of those things. Take your immune boosting supplements, immune boosting foods, and stay well and stay safe. So Tierney asks, is glutathione helpful for everyone to take daily? Not necessarily everyone needs it. It's actually more of a detoxifying enzyme that your liver makes. So not everybody needs it really. Some people need it, some people don't need it. So that should be really through your healthcare provider. You need to be able to make that, assertion rather than just take something like that. There are some things that are actually safe for most people, like vitamin D is safe for most people. Safe for most people. Of course, foods, smoothies, greens, all of those are safe for most people, but not every supplement is safe for everybody. Not everybody should be taking everything unless recommended. So, okay. So, guys, thank you for all the questions. I'm very happy to be able to answer all of these questions and spend this time with you. So you can obviously post more questions even on this video once it gets posted to our page, and we'd be happy to answer those questions again in the next week as well, even though it won't be a Q&A toward the immune boosting, but I'd be happy to answer any questions as always. Okay, we have a couple more things here. Is it best to wear a mask when you go out? Yes, Christine. So it's not necessary to wear a mask at home or in your car if you're not with anybody else, or if you're going to be in some place all by yourself. If it's a place that you know is clean, you don't really need to wear a mask. If you're going out and you're going to be in the public, if you're going to be around people, yes, then it would be a good idea to do that. Kiran, yes. Let's talk about 5G exposure on another day because it's a big, we'll definitely talk about that. For now, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of you, appreciate the time that you're spending here. And why do you suggest wearing a mask? So, because you don't know who's exposed and who's not exposed. So if they have been exposed and they are actually, they don't have the symptoms, but they have been exposed and they may be carrying it. If they sneeze or cough in a public space and the droplets, the air droplets can still, if you inhale or ingest, then you can actually be exposed to it. Again, it is for people who have a lot of issues with their immune system. It's very important. And also, sometimes we come across other people who have a poor immune system, even if our immune system is great. So, people who are taking chemotherapy, for example, who are taking other immunosuppressant drugs, these people are not, unfortunately,